Hi there Virgo, welcome back to Wild Lotus Tarot. This is going to be your weekly intuitive reading for November 16th through to the 22nd. And before I start Virgo, I just wanted to say thank you for all of your amazing comments about me doing this face to camera thing and overcoming my shyness. So many amazing comments and support and no nasty ones, which is always great. So thank you so much. So let's get into your reading for the week. I will be drawing you overarching tarot card from the Work Your Light. Oracle card, getting you a tarot card out of the Moonchild Tarot, and then getting the tarot story with the Rider-Waite and Starchild Tarot. So let's get into it, Virgo, to see what your overarching energy is. Stop. I have got Mirror. Who or what is triggering you? So there might be something or somebody that's making you feel a little reactive. Triggers are interesting, you know, when we kind of feel annoyed maybe, or, you know, usually when we are triggered by somebody, it's because we want that piece for ourselves or we haven't integrated, right? So if we're a quiet, you know, introverted person and we're triggered by the, you know, the loud life of the party, you know, who's always sort of seems to be a little bit too much, maybe it's because, you know, we aren't comfortable when we are the center of attention. So you see what I mean? So is there a trigger that you might be confronted with? And does that mean that maybe there's some work to be done for you to become more balanced, for you to become more rounded there, Virgo? So we'll see what comes out. Of course, that kind of really makes me feel, you know, Five of Wands, Five of Swords kind of energy, but it might just be a reminder for some of you. We'll see if it shows up. Your overarching tarot card now, Virgo. I have got Judgment. Wow, could be a big trigger, just saying. I mean, you know, judgment really is that final call on a situation, and it can be a wake-up call too as well, Virgo. Really the judgment energy is about liberation, and it asks you to look at the areas of your life where you're limiting yourself, right? Where are you holding yourself back? Where are you not being all of you? And maybe, you know, we can start to see where that might be by what is triggering us, because sometimes what triggers us is what we truly want for ourselves. So that's the energy of judgment. It says, you know, are you giving the situation a second chance, or are you moving this over to the World energy, which is the last card in the Major Arcana that follows on from this, which is about big cyclic completion. So for some of your situation may be coming to a head. It's that final judgment. You've heard the angel's trumpet. It's the wake-up call, and it's kind of time to face it. Let's see if we can get some more information on this, Virgo. Beginning with the energy of the recent past. Energies leaving, competing, or transitioning, Virgo. What you may be journeying in terms of this judgment. Well, you're going to be victorious, that's for sure. The Six of Wands is a beautiful energy that says, you know, the worst is over and you're moving towards brighter times. Let's get the current or focus energy. Another six, the Six of Pentacles. Karmic rebalancing going on here, and judgment very much talks about karmic situations as well. Could have been some kind of dispute or argument even. The Knight of Cups could be an apology. It's an emotional messenger. Oh, guess what I've got at the bottom of the deck? And it was what I was thinking about when I said about moving into brighter times. The Sun. Wow, the most positive card in the tarot deck. Such a beautiful energy, Virgo. Let's clarify this and see what the extra layer of information is. The Tower. Now that makes sense, doesn't it? You know, we've got all this rebalancing, victory, bright energy, but it comes after a Tower moment. Ten of Swords. That's going to complete something in your life. Two of Wands, and potentially have you, you know, looking for different options, maybe going on to a new path. Three of Cups. Guess what's at the bottom of this one? And it is exciting. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so the universe is trying to shift you here, Virgo. Where is it trying to shift you? Into a very, very positive direction. So whatever is going down with this ending, this tower, this judgment, I just say roll with it. Let the tower fall, because on the other side of that is something truly amazing. So, I mean, the Wheel of Fortune normally shows up in a reading when it is kind of predestined time for something to go down, right? It says that there is something karmic happening here with Justice and the Tower in the reading. We can't really deny that. So I do see ending energy with the Tower and the Ten of Swords next to each other. So we probably have to say there is a situation ending. It's a general reading, guys, so you'll need to link it to your own life. But of course the big areas are, you know, ending and starting relationships, and ending careers, ending study, moving or relocating somewhere, you know, all this, closing out a family chapter, all that kind of stuff. And the Wheel of Fortune says, hey, it is time, you know, the karmic wheel is shifting. So some of you might be closing out a massive cycle so that you can begin fresh. The Wheel of Fortune is about a luck change, and with the Sun in the reading, I'd say it's a very positive one as well. It has been said to have a 10-year energy. I've got the Ten of Swords as well, so you could be closing out, you know, like almost a decade pattern in your life, or something that spanned a decade. Of course, the decade falls with 2020, we're in that kind of decade shift as well. So it's really, really fundamental, powerful karmic shifts here. Now with Judgment and the Tower, you know, it's absolutely judgment time on a situation. And the towers in our life are those big structures that I've just mentioned. You know, a relationship is a tower, our career is a tower, our beliefs and values and conditioning can be towers as well. And basically what the universe is doing is testing one of these at the moment, seeing whether it is still true for you, seeing whether it still holds you, see if it's still strong enough for you, see if it's still fulfilling enough for you. So you see my drift. And the thing about the tower is that it's saying here that potentially one of those areas that I've just mentioned is built on a shaky foundation that hasn't been sort of constructed on that really nice strong base, so it doesn't take much to push it over. So the universe is saying, hey, here's the wake-up call. I'm going to give it a bit of a nudge. I'm going to give it a nudge and see if it falls over. And I really feel with the Ten of Swords next to this that it is going to, and you're going to need to surrender to allowing that to fall. So it can be sudden change in your life. It can be, look, it can be things like a loss of a job. However, I was just talking about this in the Capricorn reading, is that there's this thing about, you know, hindsight and connecting the dots and realizing that sometimes, you know, bad things happen to us in order to move us back on the life path, you know, change our timelines, you know, change us to where we're truly supposed to be in our lives. Like when I was talking in the Capricorn reading, I talked about Steve Jobs' Stanford University speech, where he talked about it's only, you know, when you look backwards that you can connect the dots. You know, early in his career, you know, he fell out with his business partner and got kicked out of his own company. I probably didn't get that right, but he had a lot of tough times, right? But he ended up going off and becoming so successful, and it was all part of the journey. He says it's only when you look back that you can connect the dots. So it's only when you can look back that you can realize why a tower may have fell, because either it was past its use by date, or maybe the situation wasn't really meant for you all along, because there's something else far greater to come in here. So the towers can also be, you know, illusions in our lives, like illusions that we build for ourselves, that the lies that we even tell ourselves. Oh, you know, I'm in a happy relationship. But if we scratch the surface, you know, are you really? It's time to look. It's time to look in the mirror. It's time to look for clarity. It's time to look at the reflection of the situations in your life and see what you see there. Do you see truth? Are you being honest with yourself? What is triggering you? Because that could be the indicator here. So it can feel chaotic when we're, you know, in the tower energy, but know that it's, you know, it's a blessing in disguise. It's a hidden blessing, especially with what I see here. And you know, the Six of Wands here is basically just saying, let it fall, because you'll be riding out of the rubble, you know, rising like the phoenix. This is about coming out of a tougher time into a bright future, bright time ahead. with self-confidence, newfound self-esteem. It's a victory card, being in all of your glory. Can be a card of, you know, public recognition as well. So people might actually recognize this shift in you, or maybe you've already been through the tower and people saying you're actually looking better. You feel like you've actually, like, you know, your shoulders have dropped, you've relaxed, you've lost a weight off your shoulders, kind of thing. But this is, you know, number 6. We have 2 6s in this reading. It's a number of, you know, healing and rebalancing and joy and harmony and all those beautiful things. So it's saying that, you know, we should allow the tower to fall, because if we hold on, sometimes we go down with it. You know, we implode with it. It gets chaotic, it gets wild. And if we try to rebuild or patch up our tower, then often we just find ourselves down the track a little bit further, facing the tower again, and maybe we've kind of shifted off of our karmic timeline, and, you know, it can be harder to get back on. So that's what I'm seeing there, guys. Now, in the current, the current energies here, I probably should have done this with the tower, but I sort of stick to the positions here. 10 of Swords, it's final, guys, and it is an ending. And it's a painful ending generally when the 10 of Swords come in. It can be, you know, you're just completely, you know, emotionally burnt out of the situation. There can be betrayal or deceit when the 10 of Swords comes into a reading, but it's just about a really final ending, and it's good because you're going to recover so much energy after this has been and done. And the message with the 10 of Swords is that, you know, it might feel really, you know, heavy right now, but there is a new dawn, new day, like just around the corner. So hang on. And there's a great sense in this reading here, Virgo, of karmic balancing. So here we have the 6 of Pentacles and the 2 of Wands. Yeah. So this is about you coming back into balance. And if you kind of had either suffered financial loss or home loss or anything through this tower, it says that soon those tables will turn, things will come back into balance, and you'll be moving into receivership again. So it's a really beautiful energy. And the 2 of Wands says that with this situation playing out, a new pathway is actually going to open up for you. The 2 of Wands shows you in life review. It's kind of like in that judgment energy. It's like, do I stay where I am and get what I always got? Or do I, you know, go out of my comfort zone in order to walk a new path? It does talk about maybe leaving a comfort zone. So it's saying, you know, what are you willing to do to move on? But generally when the tower reading's in the spread, it's like you will be moved anyway. You know, the universe is kind of like, I always say when I see the tower, you know, the universe is whispering in your ear, if you don't do it, Virgo, I will, because I've got a bigger plan for you. So that's what I see there. So 2 of Wands, life in review, really having an awakening to the fact that you've got a lot of options opening up for you. There are, you know, greener pastures out there. There's abundance to be had. There's love to be had. There's satisfaction, fulfillment, and all of that stuff. So don't be afraid of the tower. Now, look at this. Knight of Cups, 3 of Cups, and the Sun. Well, for some of you, there could be an emotional messenger coming in, and this can be an apology related to the situation, but I feel that it's somebody new coming in. It could be somebody that's going to come in and help guide you as you navigate emotionally through the situation, right? That's what I'm kind of feeling. But of course it can be, you know, that knight in shining armor. For some of you that think this is a love situation, it might be that you've cleared the way and actually either somebody new is coming in, or there might have been already somebody, you know, that you had been seeing, and that person that now you can really engage with them and connect with them. Yes, that's the Knight of Cups energy. It's a beautiful sort of emotional offering here. It can be an offer of love. It can be somebody declaring their feelings for you. In, you know, like a business sense, it could be that perfect person that's got the, you know, the contrasting skills that you just needed, that, you know, you can feel like you can have a really fulfilling connection together, is what I'm seeing. But the last 2 cards, 3 of Cups and the Sun, say the worst is absolutely over after this tower falls. The future looks so bright ahead. Very soon you will be celebrating the fruits of your labors, the new harvest here. I mean, the Three of Cups is saying that through the situation here, you'll have the opportunity to plant new seeds, and, you know, hey, it's not all going to go from Tower to abundance in a new direction in the space of a week. But if you play your cards right, if you take the inspired action, if you leave that comfort zone, if you maybe allow in this emotional messenger, then very soon you will be celebrating the harvest, right? And the Sun shows somebody who has overcome the blocks, obstacles, or challenges, like almost riding out of the Tower here, out of that brick wall. And, it just says that the future is so bright. You can see the baby there is naked and has a sense of vulnerability. And it's like, you might be kind of feeling like you're shedding an identity, shedding a skin, but don't be, in fear of that, because that really is just like that feeling of rebirth. You have the opportunity now, Virgo, sorry, to recreate yourself out of this. It's a beautiful energy of healing, of love. It's also a yes card as well in the tarot. So if there's kind of a decision, like I know what the trigger is, I've felt the judgment, I know what I need to liberate myself from, I know what Tower needs to come down, this is the confirmation saying, yes, you're right, and yes, you should allow it to fall. So got some really, really strong energies here, Virgo. Keep in mind that divine timing is at play here. The universe only gives you, Virgo, those experiences that you can handle, so you have totally got this. Okay, Virgo, well, I'm going to leave it there, and I do wish you all the best with what could be quite a powerful week if this is your reading, or you might be in the aftermath of this. Feel free to drop me a comment if you're called to share. Helps me get to know you guys, connect with your energies, and see what's happening in the collective. Keep in mind it's a general reading, guys. Sometimes all of it resonates, sometimes pieces, and sometimes not at all. Just means it's not your story this week. And I will see you next week for another message, Virgo. Bye for now.